Welcome back to the part 2 of my hero tier list in the 2022, and this had no intro, so I had to give it an intro because this was split from part 1 and part 2. So this is my intro, very boring. We're going to start with Striker Jones, but I call Striker Jones Sergeant Brickwell the whole time, so just ignore that, and every time I say Sergeant Brickwell, pretend I'm not and saying Striker Jones. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in a bit. Oh, Sergeant Brickwell. We all know Sergeant Brickwell. Some of us don't know Sergeant Brickwell. And that's because we don't use Sergeant Brickwell. But Sergeant Brickwell is a W tower. How would I describe it? Sergeant Brickwell does more damage than people think, buffs mortars and bomb shooters. No one cares about mortars, but buffs bomb shooters, but still can't be above Pat, Fusty, or Zilly. We're going to put it right next to Gwendolyn. Although the buffs are actually quite strong and does a lot of damage itself. Lead damage, that is. It's not that useful. I'd love to use Sergeant Brickwell more and really get an understanding for why Brickwell is in the game and how much fun Brickwell is. But unfortunately, I don't use Brickwell that much. Kind of slacks behind. Not really any point to use it above the other towers apart from the buffing 2 mortars and bomb shooters, but that is literally it. And in the buffs to mortars and bomb shooters itself is not that great. So I'd have to put Brickwell in D. And yeah, Adora. We Adora. And a lot of people, have Adora as one of their favourite towers. And that is because Adora is so fun. But Adora's a B. Adora can be used on any map. Obviously, you've got Vengeful Adora. Very situational Vengeful Adora. And if you're going for a high round nowadays, you don't even use Adora. So what is Adora's use case? Adora's use case is to do lots of damage to balloons. If that comes to its final form being 8 shots with its very strong orb of destruction. I can't remember what the orb is actually called. And obviously its other ability allows it to do more pierce. It can level up pretty quickly if you're farming with the sacrifice. Adora does a lot of damage to leads as well when you can't be bothered to do anything. Moving on to our only F. I don't even have to explain it. Brickwell. Not Brickwell. Oh my god. I called Striker Jones Sergeant Brickwell for the whole time. Well, that's going to be fun to edit. Sergeant Brickwell, not Striker Jones. It sucks. Sergeant Brickwell does a lot of damage with its bomb. That's an ability. Its gun does next to nothing. The bombs it shoots out, okay, are good, but once one Moab makes it there, they're all gone. Really, really a pointless tower. And I feel bad saying it's a pointless tower because I understand what they were trying to do. They had to make a boat hero, and I think they were like, oh, boat hero would be too OP. We've got maps that, like primary only flooded valley. Primary only flooded valley. Like, you can't let it just do that by itself. I don't know if they were thinking that, but clearly. And they made a trash tower. I feel bad saying trash, but it really is not a very good and not very strong and not a very reliable hero to use, and you're rarely going to use it. Etienne. Etienne goes in S tier. And for the same reason Adora gets a bit high to the B tier, Etienne can be used on every map no matter what. Although Etienne is not as strong with the damage, although at the later rounds when you do get the UFO, whatever it is, the plane going all the way around, it does do a lot of damage. It doesn't do a lot of damage itself, and for the rounds before that, it doesn't do a lot of damage. You know, they can't be buffed. However, because of the global camo detection and its ability that can be used, I can't remember where you get the plane that goes around, which does help with things like round 63. The swarm also helps with round 63. You can probably take down round 63 itself, but again, round 78 and 76, that explosive damage really does put, you know, does a lot of damage to towers, and the camo really helps with like things like round 78. Again, if you have a ceramic damage dealer that doesn't have camo, it will get the second part of round 78. Sorda. Sorda's actually going to A tier, just above Adora. The reason it is above Adora is because of the increase in damage dealt. The abilities do a lot more damage to Moabs. Itself does a lot more damage to Moabs, and definitely a lot more damage to fortified and ceramic balloons. So that's obviously a bonus. It's a very even list, by the way, like a big straight line. What else? Sorda final ability, once you level it all the way up, very, very strong at basically just clearing out a level. If you do have some problems, very good on certain maps, so has to be in more of a situation where a attack shooter would go, unfortunately. That definitely does hold back Sorda. But again, a lot of damage. You can out buff. That increases damage, obviously. Jungle drums and stuff also increases damage, but you know, not even in the same realm. And like I said, I made a video on Sorda beating hard mode by herself, with a joke in the community about Sorda being thick, which is besides the point and besides the high rating of Sorda. But you know, I think Sorda is a fan favourite and definitely one of my favourites, and that is why Sorda is in A tier. Sorda was actually in S tier before, I do want to point this out, but did get nerfed, and that's the reason Sorda's gone down. Sai doesn't have much to say. Sai's going to be in C tier. Again, can take down like Moabs by itself, but slow shooting, hit the whole map. But costs quite a lot, levels up very slowly. Its abilities are good, but not great. Does a lot of damage to high health balloons, but you're still going to get ruined by a DDT. And doesn't really help many of your other towers, so I'd have to put it in C. This is going to be a little quick one. I don't have much to say about Sai. But yeah. And our final tower, final S tier. You can see these all have a different use, and Geraldo's use is high rounds. Now I haven't done a high round in a while, and I will do a high round very, very shortly. I think I'm ready to do my high round. I'm going to try and get every single Paragon max, which is tough, by the way. I don't think I'd have to say, but having every single Paragon max level is not the easiest thing in the world. But Geraldo is the only reason that I'd ever be able to do that. I mean, without Geraldo, and it's literally just that Paragon power totem. So that shows how good Geraldo is. Although a very niche use case, one of, like, no other tower can do what Geraldo can do. And I think for that reason, Geraldo has to be an S tier. So, thanks for watching. Unfortunately, this was a two-part video. I hope you watched both parts, and you probably just skipped to the end, and you saw this, and then you're gonna complain in the comments like, la la la, why are they here? and then you're gonna go in the comments, and you're gonna be hate, and you're gonna dislike the video, even though no one cares, and then you're gonna get my response, and my response, you know what it'll be? It'll be watch the video. It'll be watch the part where I explain it. And you won't do it. You just complain. Anyway, join the Discord in the description, like, comment, subscribe, and have fun. I should be streaming. Just leave notifications on and you'll see if I'm streaming. Peace.